Hey riders, welcome to another video in our adventure motorcycle training series. I'm Eric with Ride Adventures. Today we're going to show you 4 great ways to turn your bike around if you ever get into a tight spot on the trail. Alright, so let's check out what we're talking about here. You're riding along and all of a sudden the trail basically comes to an end. I've got a little bit of width to the right and the left where I could do a turnaround, but just trying to respect the land that we ride on the trail that we are on, not cut new trail. Let's try and keep it on the trail and turn around right here. So one of the first things you want to look at though is detecting any camber or slope to the spot that you're going to choose to turn around, in that you want to detect, especially from left to right, which direction you're going to turn your bike, to the right or to the left. And so, you know, you might not carry a roll of painter's tape with you on the bike and the camera doesn't quite show up, but there in person you'll be able to see for yourself the amount of slope that is there, and then again pick which way you're going to choose to commit to turning your bike. Okay, so once you've established which direction you're going to turn the bike, essentially uphill, there are 2 types of Y-turns that you might want to start with, one being off bike and the other being on. The easiest one is to simply hop off your bike, either using the engine and the throttle or maybe just using your own strength. Point the bike up into the hill, you can rev it up, back it down, let gravity pull it back down the hill, remount and take off. You know, the on-bike version, pretty easy as well, as long as you have a good reach to the ground and you don't have any issues with the terrain or anything like that. Just basically riding the bike in the same pattern, that Y pattern, using the engine to go up the hill and letting gravity roll you back downwards. Pretty easy to turn the bike around that way. So a third easy way to turn your bike around, let's call it a kickstand pivot. So it might not look like it, but these kickstands are generally capable of holding your bike, the entire weight of it, up in the air. So choose a good spot, preferably actually on a rock or a hard surface or something to make sure that the foot of the side stand isn't going to sink down into the dirt that you may be on. And you can essentially lean the entire bike back up onto the kickstand like this, and then be in a position to sort of pivot it around and inch it around into the direction that you want the bike to be facing. Now, one precautionary measure you want to take in mind is that the kickstand can of course fold backward, right? If you happen to push the weight too much forward, now it can sort of disengage or flip back into its upright position, and then you're off the kickstand and the whole bike is on the side, on the ground. So it's not a bad idea. You should have an extra strap with you to strap it forward, maybe grab the bottom of the kickstand and pull it forward to a crash bar or some other part of the bike, just to make sure you don't accidentally dislodge it from its down position. Okay, the 4th type of turnaround, definitely the most challenging. Let's call it a pivot turn or a U-turn. Start by getting at least some visualization. Just like in any kind of sports, you want to know and visualize for yourself in advance what it is you're going to be doing. So coming into the turn, slowing down, obviously applying both brakes. You're going to want to use the rear brake a little bit to either lock it up or somehow break traction with the rear. As you're starting to make your turn, you're going to get to about a 45-degree angle from the line that you were traveling on. And this is all sort of simultaneously, so visualize this all happening together. You're going to off-weight the bike by planting your rear wheel. Continue to apply more and more front brake, compressing the front forks, as well as creating sort of a pivot point that the front wheel is going to become as the rear is going to slide around it. So And during all of this, you're going to slam the bars all the way to the lock position, all the way to the one side, again creating that sort of need for the rear wheel that has its forward momentum to slide out behind you like that. So rear brake comes off, you're planting the rear foot, off-weighting, creating a break of traction, and you're slamming on the throttle or possibly using the clutch and throttle to really make sure that you break your traction completely and let that rear end become as light and sort of traction free as you can, to then pivot all the way around the front wheel and head you back the other direction. So again, it's a challenging move, something that you're not going to do maybe right the first time, something that's very difficult if the terrain you're on is both sticky and slippery. If you have maybe a mix of loose sand and then sticky rocks in there, you gotta be real careful, because if you're in this slide, and all of a sudden your bike does grab traction, it can pull it right out from under you and you can have a little get off here and there. But Definitely something that is the fastest way to turn the bike around. Maybe there's a bear coming up ahead. You've got to get out of there as fast as you can, but this is definitely something to practice, and it's fun once you're able to get it done. Thanks for watching. Hope the information helped you. Make sure to get out there and practice your motorcycle turnarounds. It'll take you more places and let you see more things. We've got an entire adventure motorcycle training series that you can see more videos on, so be sure to subscribe and get notified when those videos come out, and hope this information helps you. Look forward to seeing you out there on the road or on the trail or both.
Nice.